Bless y'all. Welcome back to Minute with a Mechanic. Just to kind of get something out there so everybody knows what's going on. We're starting a segment so that we can start showing some of the mechanical things, starting with small things, working up to big things, just so that the Saints can have some access to the information. And then later on, if we need to do a question and answer period or something, we can start doing that. Start getting Saints a little more involved in doing some mechanical things. Elder Brent is scraping the driveway, so we'll have to bear with me. But I got a steel pole saw here, and right off the bat, went to pull start it, and the pull start string broke. So we figured it'd be a good segment to start with, just to get this started. So bear with me, and we'll get through this. So pull start string just snapped right when we were trying to pull it, and I'm sure some of you all have probably dealt with that. So nice thing about a steel, they're really easy to work on. 3 bolts out of the back and the pull start comes off. We got our new string here, went down and picked it up, and right off, the first thing you want to do is take care of these little ends. You can see how it's kind of fuzzy. You can see how it's just kind of frayed out there. Easiest way to deal with that is take a lighter, give it a little bit of heat, let it melt down, and then just kind of flatten it out. And that gives you a kind of a hard end. It's a lot easier to fish through into the recoil assembly. So once you do that, now this is where the trick comes in. So your recoil assembly needs to be pulled against the spring before you put the rope in. So you're going to pull in the direction. You can tell you're pulling in the direction because you see the little foot go out. If you go the other way, it pulls in. So you want to pull it in that direction, and you're going to just spin it until you get a nice amount of winding on there, and you'll feel it. And the point that you have to remember is you got to hold it. So you see I'm holding it with my thumb and then turning it. And you're going to put a couple of winds on this. You want some good pressure because you want that recoil assembly to pull it back every time. So we're going to go ahead and turn that. And it takes a minute. You got to just kind of bear with it. And then you're going to hold it. Now, you're going to hold it in a manner so that you can get the, oops, see, I just let it go. You're going to hold it in a manner so that you can get the rope through the hole. So, I'm going to turn it so that we're lined up. You got this little notch here that tells you where your hole is at. So now we're going to take our lit end, go down through the top and into the hole. Just kind of worm it around there until she comes through. And this is where it's handy to have a pick. Just a little seal pick. You can reach down in there, grab a hold of your rope, and pull her out. Bear with me, sometimes you gotta finagle it some. And there may be easier ways out there that people understand about trying to go the other direction. This is the way I do it and the way it works, so. Come on. There we go. So you see, use a pick, pull it out. Now, I'm still holding pressure on the recoil spring. You don't want to let this go until you get a good knot in here. Okay, but you can pull as much as you need, and then you can start tying your knot. A knot is just a simple knot. There's nothing crazy about it, because the hole's just barely big enough for the rope, so it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just don't want to leave a lot of tail on it. So bring your, so there is your knot. Really simple. Now you just pull that guy back down in there, Make sure it goes down in the hole, and then slowly allow the recoil assembly to take the rope back in. Okay, now you got exactly how recoil assembly works. So you're going to pull it until you get to the point where you've got just a little bit of spring tension pulling on it, and then that's where you're going to tie off your handle. So your handle, just a little simple T-handle. I'm going to go ahead and torch this guy down to give you another example of what we did there. So you just take your heat device, whether it be a lighter or heat gun, get it hot, get it to melt, and then you can kind of form it. Now it is hot, it will stick to your fingers a little bit, so if you got delicate fingers, use your gloves. And then what we're going to do is we're going to feed this guy through here. I'm doing a video, just like that, real simple. Now when you get to the point where you're at your recoil assembly, you're going to pull out a little bit of the tension on it, and then you can tie off your knot right there. And again, it's just a simple knot. You're not doing anything crazy. It just needs to be bigger than the hole. So now you have that. Use your extra, but the recoil assembly works. So now you're just going to trim off this extra little bit. Get my knife out here. Go ahead and take that little bit there and just melt her down. Sorry, I got some wind here, so. Recoil assembly is re-rope. Now we're just going to reinstall it on the pole saw, and we'll be back up and running. So I hope you enjoyed our first segment of Minute with a Mechanic, and bless y'all. We'll talk to you later.